wolves. Her breath caught in her throat. They were here. Dally and Lim and Isbert and Ash and all the rest. They were here. She watched until the formation split, groups peeling off to each fort, with the rankers shepherding the civilians in, watchful to the last. As soon as she knew the wolves were coming to Fort 4, she ran back down into the drill yard. Her heart was yammering in her chest, her head swimming with fear and excitement. Dom. Would he be here too, among his people, or maybe in the rank's custody for his actions? It would be hard to see him in chains, of course, but once everyone understood what had happened, that the things he'd done hadn't been his fault, not really, it would be different. It might take even Gilda a while to forgive him, but she would. All the wolves would. They had to. Her thoughts stuttered to a halt as the gates opened and people began streaming in. Civilians, hundreds of them rushing with glad relief into the nearby empty fort that had once contained the South Rank's 5,000, soldiers who'd marched to Rilporin to aid the king, and now maybe, if they were lucky, marched back. A babble of voices rose from soldiers and refugees alike, as rank physicians and any soldier with healing experience hastened towards the newcomers, and a sergeant with a voice that could crack stone directed them to form up in lines before half a dozen hastily assembled tables and chairs to give names and be allocated quarters. Rilpors hopped from foot to foot, desperately trying to see over and through the press to the wolves who'd been trailing the group, and then... Dally! Dally! The short woman turned when Rilpors screamed her name. Her eyes nearly popped out of her head. Rilpors? Fuck the gods, girl! Get over here! Rilpors sprinted around the edge of the throng, shoving between people with muttered apologies, and flung herself bodily into Dally's arms, where she burst into tears. You're alive! You're alive! She sobbed. You're alive! Dally countered, and there was a wobble in her voice Rilpors had never heard before. She pulled back and took in Dally's face. Sunburnt, freckled, green eyes rimmed with red, and sitting in shadows so deep they look bruised. How the bloody fuck are you still alive? You fell off the ship. Long boring story, Rilpors said, wiping her nose on her sleeve, other hand still clutching Dally in case the wolf suddenly vanished. I made it to shore, found Gilda in the dancer's fingers, and... Gilda? Gods! Yes, Dally, Gilda's alive. She's here, wounded, but recovering. She's fine. In the infirmary. I can take you there. You and Lim and Ash and... Dom? Her voice got quieter on the last name, with a rise at the end that made it almost a question. Something of a plea. Dally's face went colder than Rilpors had ever seen it. Colder even than the mask she donned for battle. That face would not entertain forgiveness or weakness. That face knew nothing of light. We don't know where Dom is, nor Ash. They disappeared when Rilporin fell. Lim is dead. Now Rilpors did let go. She stumbled back, hands to her mouth, and nausea coiling up her throat. Rilporin fell? You mean we lost? Her words were too loud and carried to the nearest South Rankers. They'd have found out soon enough, but still. They needed the official version, not some overheard panicked gossip. Dally's expression closed even further. Yes, we lost, and yes, Lim died. So did thousands of others. Doesn't mean it's over, though. Come, take me to Gilda. She should hear the fate of her sons, blood adopted and...